Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another session of SellerSpeak, where we learn from real sellers based on the real stories. So, we have a $1 million Amazon seller here with us. His name is Paul Barron. I'll be introducing him in just a second. And this session is based on nano-influencers and how they can be so beneficial for your company. So, if you're looking for branding and if you want to get word out there for your business, this session is perfect for you. So, let's watch a quick intro and let's get on with the session. Hi everyone, welcome back. So, hi Paul, how is it going?
Hey, I'm great, thanks. How are you? Yeah.
I'm good. So, I hope everyone had a great Halloween and I hope everyone stayed safe. So, yes, we will be talking about nano-influencers now and how nano-influencers can improve your brand image online. So, let me introduce Paul here. He has a very interesting bio, so I will have to read it. Excuse me. So Paul Barron is $1 million Amazon seller, which is amazing. I mean, how often do we interview $1 million sellers, right? He's also an instructor at amazing.com, and his brands have received consulting from Shark Tank's Barbara, that is my favorite. And he has featured on the Rachel Ray Show, Forbes magazine, on televised and print news. Wow, again, amazing. And he has a new company called the Chat Agency that offers full-service chat marketing services, including his proprietary Nano-influencing framework. And that is what we'll be talking about today. So, hi, Paul. Amazing to have you on the SellerSpeak session.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun to be here.
All right. So first, to begin with, I want to understand what is ManyChat and how does it work on Amazon?
Yeah, so it's funny because this topic, nano-influencers, when I start telling people about it, in the industry, I've known a lot for my ManyChat strategies. But ManyChat is a chatbot building tool. So if you're not familiar with the chatbot, when I say chatbot, I'm not talking about one of those help widgets that pop up on a website. I'm talking about the ability to design ads on Facebook that lead users directly into Facebook Messenger. And ManyChat helps you to do that. You can craft customer journeys and full marketing funnels inside Messenger using ManyChat. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what ManyChat is. Now, ManyChat is not the only chatbot software out there. There are dozens of others. ManyChat is just the one, in my opinion, that's the best on the market. It's the most well-funded. They're the best customer support. They update their software the most. And so it's kind of becomes synonymous with chatbots.
No, I completely agree. ManyChat, many of our Amazon sellers that SellerApp deals with also use ManyChat, and we advise people to use ManyChat. So if you're a new Amazon seller and if you're looking to improve your branding, or if you want to just get out there and know what people are thinking, use ManyChat and it will help you immensely. So now that we're coming to a nano influence for your business, to begin with, what is a nano influencer?
Yeah, so a nano-influencer is essentially, it could be anybody really, but if you look at kind of the sphere or the world of influencers, at the top you kind of have your celebrity and mega influencers that have millions, if not sometimes hundreds of millions of followers. So these are like the Kim Kardashians of the world. They sort of established the influencer market, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. So most of the time when you say influencer, that's what people think of, the people with millions of followers. Then you have just your regular old influencers. Then you have like your mega influencers, your macro influencers, micro, and then nano. So a lot of people are familiar with the term with micro influencers. So a micro influencer would typically be somebody with more than 10,000 followers and oftentimes less than 100,000 followers. A nano influencer then would be anyone with followers less than 10,000. Typically, when you're trying to define it, you group those people between 1,000 and 10,000 followers. So in our business, we have influencers that run the gamut from a couple hundred to hundreds of thousands. But we really primarily focus on that nano market where it's less less than 10,000.
All right. So the first question that comes in my mind when it comes to nano influencers is, if you're trying to get the word out there for your brand, why would you choose an influencer that has less than 10,000 following? So why should people choose nano influencers when they have a less amount of following, when they can be going to the bigger fishes that have more followings?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think one of the disservices that social media has done to our world is that they sort of put us in this frame of mind where we're always sort of judging how many people are following you, or even somebody else, right? So we look at, say Kim Kardashian again, just to bring her up, is, she's got hundreds of millions of followers, therefore, she must be really important. But the problem is that not many people actually genuinely know her. I mean, yes, people will listen to her, but what I look at with nano-influencers is that they're a lot more down to earth. They're a lot easier to work with. In my experience working with influencers, most people that have built followings over 10,000 generally have a very high opinion of themselves, and it's they're a little bit hard. They're harder to work with. They're more expensive, and you get a lot less value for your money. When you're working with nano-influencers, you're working generally with people that represent like a real following base. So what I like to tell people is that, I mean, if you're wanting to get 1 million reach in, like, say, a post, okay, you could go, a couple different routes. You could work with somebody that has 1 million people following them, or you could, take that number, divide it by 1,000. You could work with 1,000 people that have 1,000 people following them, or you could work with 100 people that have 10,000 people following them. And I like distributing the weight, if you will, across a lot of people for multiple reasons. One, you're going to get a lot more posts. You're going to get a lot more sharing. You're going to get a lot more user-generated content, and the engagement is substantially better with nano-influencers than it is with mega or even micro-influencers most of the times. And the reason for that is that, again, the people that are following nano-influencers are generally, the core audience is their friends and family. And then they're a lot more engaged when people comment on their posts. They're a lot, again, it's, I just think of it as like real interaction versus fake interaction, because what's the likelihood that Kim's going to reply to a comment on her post? That's not very likely. And then even as it trickles down with even the micro influencers, where you have 50 to 100,000 people following them, the likelihood that they're going to engage with their community that follows them is not super high. So you have less of a personal relationship with their fans, and that means that they also they're not looking to have a relationship with your brand long term. And working with nano influencers is a lot better, because you can build long-term relationships. You don't need to do one-off things where you pay them $1,000 and hope that it goes somewhere. Oftentimes you don't need to pay them very much, if anything at all. And most of the times you can get, a great relationship started by just sending them free products and working in partnership with them. So there's a lot more reasons, but those are, I guess, the tops. They're more effective, they're less expensive, they're more down to earth, they're easy to work with.
Yes, I completely get that, because when we look at let's say big influencers, now that we have got Kim on guard, so I'm just going to continue with Kim Kardashian. So if you're looking at Kim Kardashian, she promotes a lot of products, actually. So they keep changing. So I think when an influencer does that, I think the authenticity of the influencer decreases. Because if you're promoting a lot of brands, I mean, do you really use the brand, or are you doing it just for the money? So I think this is where nano influencers really make a difference, because they swear by the product and they mean it. So I think this goes the same way as it goes with the supplier as well. You need to have a long-term relationship with your supplier, and you need to have a long-term relationship, meaningful relationships with your nano influencers as well, because suppliers believe in your brand, you believe in your brand, and your nano influencers also believe in your brand. So once someone connects with your brand personally, I think it becomes very, like, their promotions are very authentic that way. So Yeah, that's what I think. And this is a really good world. This is like a wondrous world of nano influencers that I didn't know about, and I'm just learning about it. And I'm sure that people watching right now are going to get a lot out of it as well. So now we're coming down to the cost, because cost is like the favorite topic to talk about when it comes to Amazon selling, because everyone's just looking to cut down on their costs. So how is nano influencers helping me break even, and how much should I be spending on them?
And that's a great question too, because not every influencer, not every person you're wanting to work with is going to work with you for free. So this advice, I need to, stay with a grain of salt, because you need to look at the relationship that you're building as a social relationship versus a market relationship. And so there's a really good book written by Dan Ariely, who is a behavioral economist, and he works for Fairly Positive. It's Duke University. I need to look up his bio, but he wrote a book called Predictably Irrational. And in it, he talks about the difference between social norms and market norms. And think of it like this. So one of the examples that he gives in his book is, say that you have a neighbor who's a doctor, and you need help when you're out of town checking your mail. And so you just ask your neighbor, hey, could you check my mail for me and just bring it inside the house while we're gone? And that's a social relationship because you're friends, right? So they, of course, say, yeah, no problem, I'll do that for you. But if you were to ask that same doctor who, maybe they spent an hour or two, or maybe 4 hours checking your mail, if he would mind, helping you, like next time you need a physical for free or something, that is different, because that's his job or her job, right? They wouldn't do that for free. So with the Nano framework, what we're looking at doing is establishing relationships that border on social and market. Okay, so it's a tenuous balance, because we are incentivizing sometimes with money and gifts and things, but we're not necessarily always doing that. So when you're looking at spending money with influencers, I'm going to give you kind of a broad range. I'll start with micro influencers, because again, that's what people know. So micro influencers generally charge between $150 to $2,000 per post, and that depends on their reach, right? So that's a decent amount of money. A survey that I just read recently was $500 to $1,500, but in my experience, sometimes it's been lower. With nano influencers, oftentimes you begin working with them if you were the one proactive about engaging and reaching out. If the way that we build this, there's two different methods. They're outbound and they're inbound. So we set up ads allowing people to apply to be a part of our program. And we have a really, really robust system that we've designed that we work with in our own brands, and then we also work with it with clients. And we call that the Nano-influencer framework. So we do inbound and outbound. So the inbound would be, we run an ad that the influencer sees, they apply, they learn about the program, and then they apply to be a part of our team. Outbound is when we're looking at people that are highly engaged in other brands that are maybe competitors, and then we reach out to them. In general, what we're doing, because we're doing this, sometimes inbound, sometimes outbound, but most of the time, people that are applying for these types of positions have never been invited to participate in anything like this before. So it's extremely flattering to them that you're asking them to be an influencer for your company or an ambassador. We use a lot of different terms. So we use brand ambassador, brand rep, brand enthusiast. It's different per company, but oftentimes you don't need to give them any money. Most of the times what we do is we incentivize through gifts. So we give them products. Oftentimes, even when we're just trying people out, we actually require them to pay 50% of the cost before we give them more free things. And the reason for that is that in our experience working with influencers of all types, when we first started this program 4 years ago, we just gave everyone free products, and we fully 50% of those people didn't ever take photos, never gave us a shout out on social. So we wanted to up the bar, where it was just a little bit of money. It's not a ton. We'll reimburse half their cost, and at the end of the term, which is a month, we basically say you need to take 4 photos, at least 4 to 5 photos this month, and tag us on social. basically once a week. If they can do that, and they have a good engagement with their following, they take good quality photos, and they seem like they want to work with us long term, then we invite them to become a brand rep, where we give them everything for free. So the cost on acquiring influencers, this method, is extremely low. We do a ton of different contests. We're completely restructuring our program now. But in the past, we've done, like, every 3 months, we'll do, I don't know, like $700 worth of prizes, which isn't a ton. But what we've gotten out of that is typically every 3 months, we get about 2,000 lifestyle photos that we can use on social. So cost in gifts is about $700-ish. Cost in ads, when we're running, again, there's multiple different methods. We can leave it on all the time, where it's an evergreen ad, or we do it in short bursts, where we fill up a whole bunch of people, do the interview process and all that stuff. We've spent between $300 and $500, but you can really do in like a couple weeks, but you can really do this in, $50 to $150. Cost can be very minimal for reaching out. So in terms of value for the dollar, it's incredible, because those lifestyle photos, if you've ever hired a professional photographer, and if you've ever worked with influencers where they're charging you $150 per post, that those 2,000 photos, if they were going to charge you $150 per post, that would be $300,000 that you would pay.
Wow.
If you were just doing lifestyle photography. And again, the great thing about working with a multitude of people is that, again, as opposed to working with somebody like, Kim, you don't have just one model in one location. And the same thing goes with a lifestyle photography shoot. When you're doing a professional lifestyle photography shoot, typically you have a handful of models that you're most of the time going to pay a little bit. Then you have the photographer, and then the photographer's assistant. And typically they have a full day or half day rate. And if you're doing like a half day shoot, if you can get it for less than $500, it's a screaming deal. So say $500 and you get 20 photos. So that would be, let's see, 500. So it'd be $500 for 20 photos. So that would be about $50,000 worth of photography cost.
So much cheaper compared to photography hands-on.
Yeah, much cheaper than hiring a lifestyle photographer, much cheaper than working with individual one-off relationship influencers. And the benefits are just through the roof, because again, in social norms versus market norms, people are only going to do something when and if you pay them. But when you're building a relationship with people that become like a cult following for your brand, that raving audience, where they get rewarded with gifts and money incentives every now and again, the relationship is built on the social norm, which is trust and friendship. And they're a lot more willing to do things to help you promote your brand. And again, when you're doing this, the biggest thing that I could say is that if you try to take advantage of people, I want you to stop listening now, because this is not what I'm about. It's not going to work for you. People won't be taken advantage of. So you need to set up something that you can give them something that you can get something in return. Whenever it's a one-sided relationship, especially in a social norm situation, you might get something initially, but long-term that relationship isn't going to go there. It's not going to go the distance. Yep. A lot of the influencers that we've worked with, we started working with 3.5, 4 years ago, and they actually have become our personal friends, and we still work with them to this day. And I personally believe that life is more about there's more to life than making money. And it's more about your impact that you leave in the world and how many lives you can change in the process for the good. And if all you care about is making money and taking advantage of people, you're leaving a negative impact. And you're not the type of person that people are going to look fondly on in history, even if they write about you. So, yeah.
Yep, that's very well put. Yep, that's very well put, because before I got this job, I used to do a lot of freelancing for a lot of people, and they would contact me and they would be like, or my friend, she still does freelancing. She is a graphic designer. So they would contact her. They would be like, hey, can you work on this artwork? And she would make the artwork for them. and they would be like, oh no, we already got the artwork. And she's like, well, I deserve to be paid for my work that I've done. So I think a lot of people who do influencing or who do a lot of freelancing are so used to this climate of people just using them or just taking advantage of them. So I'm so happy that you have like an agency that makes them feel valued, and they have like a foolproof system of getting incentivized for their work that they're putting out. Because I've seen a lot of people just think like, oh, you just have to click pictures and put it online. Like, how much money will that take? Well, no, I have worked for the following. The influencers that you'll be giving your business to have worked for the following. They have put time and effort to create the following that they have. And yes, they do deserve to get paid for it. So again, if you're just planning to get like influencers for free without giving them any products or like half cutting your way, you should stop watching this video now. Very well put, Paul.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, to that point with, not paying people, not giving them anything, in life, people have goals, right? So if you can figure out what the goals of your people are that you're working with and you can help them achieve them, that's a form of payment as well. Because like with our influencers, some of them want to work with bigger brands. Some of them, when they started working with us, didn't really have any following, but we've helped them build a following. And we have little training modules that we walk our influencers through that just help them take better photos, get bigger reach, and that sort of thing. And we're actually in the process, I think I mentioned this, of revamping our system, adding more gifts, adding more benefits. And a part of that process is we're going to be doing a lot more training because, again, I really, even with the system that we have now, it is more weighted in our side in the benefit, I feel. And I want it to be more equal. I want to be able to give back to in our case, since we run a mommy baby brand, I want to give back to our mommies and really help them. If they want to build a bigger audience, if they want to become mega influencers, I'd like to help them do that. So that is extremely important to me.
Yeah. And the second point about lifestyle photography is very important because if your influencer is not going to be using your product, I mean, it's useless to even have an influencer like that. So now we're coming to the next point. So I'm sure that people who are watching right now are like convinced that they need a nano influencer for their brand. So for the next step, how do they select a nano influencer? Like, what are the things that they should be keeping in their mind while approaching or selecting or shortlisting some influencers for their business?
Well, first and foremost, they need to be in your demographic. If you're a mommy baby brand, let me give you a story. Not just them, but their audience should be in your demographic. So a couple years ago, I started trying to get some influencers on YouTube. And the YouTube market is completely different than the Instagram market as it pertains to influencers. And we have a lot of experience working in the Instagram market, and I had an idea that I wanted to test out on YouTube. So I just started looking for families that had posted recently about babies or diapers or anything that you would think of that somebody that has babies would post about, right? Like, I don't know, formula, milk, feeding, babies, nap time, like that type of cribs. And I had a list of people that I had created, and there was this one family that had 50,000 people following them on YouTube. So I was kind of already breaking my own rule right there, going bigger. 50,000 is a lot of people. I didn't do adequate research in looking at how they grew their channel. What I realized after working with them was that the majority of the people that were following them on the channel were fans of the husband, who's a professional fisherman, bass fisherman in America. And so all of those people are like very outdoorsy and they're male, right? They'll watch a guy fishing. Like I just told you prior to the call starting, I spent 4 days up in the mountains in Colorado, fishing and that sort of stuff. I mean, outdoorsy, like typically those men don't make the buying decisions in the home. They generally defer to the wife or the spouse or the partner or the girlfriend or whomever is the mother of the child. Because, again, this is a generalization. I do help with decisions, but when you have a supportive partner that is raising the kids, that you just kind of naturally do that. So I didn't think of that. So we did this whole giveaway with them. We paid them $750 which they told me was a discount from their normal rate of $1,500 for a like 30-second or a minute shout out. And what they did was they put us 13 minutes into a 17-minute video, and they mispronounced our name. They mispronounced the products, and I don't even think they've ever used them. It was extremely frustrating. And I didn't do adequate research. I didn't look at who their following was. So that's key. You need to do adequate research. You need to make sure that the people that, if you're proactively reaching out to them, right? So if you're finding them and you're looking for them, you can build a whole hashtag list. And we have tools that we do this, for our clients, where you can give us parameters, and you can say, I want people that are between the ages of 35 and 41, if that's super narrow, living on the West Coast of America, that have made at least 4 posts in the past 6 months about babies, that have an engagement rate higher than 2% and a following less than 10,000 people. So those are very specific parameters. So we have a program that we use that we can build a list of people, and then we can proactively reach out to them. On the flip side, we can just create an ad, and then in the advertisement, you can just craft an ad that only speaks to that person. Not only that, but you can also, inside Facebook, you can just demographically target people that only match that criteria. So on the ad side, it's a lot easier. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer ads, is that you can put in just all those demographic data, right? Like only people that live in California, Nevada, Texas, whatever, right? If you're doing like the western part of America, only people that have this, only people that have kids be lower than 3. And in the ad itself, you want the ad to speak to that person's, whatever their desired outcome in life, or whatever your product or your program is going to do. We're looking for this type of person, and you're going to get all these benefits, and learn more, click the button to apply now. And then that application, you can either send them to a landing page that gives them more information, or you can put them into Messenger, and then they can apply in Messenger. So that's how we get people, the 2 methods.
Wow. Yeah, no, this makes a lot of sense, because this is like how you get the perfect influencer for your business. So again, audience is very important. Like I cannot imagine a brand or an influencer like Kim Kardashian promoting, let's say, fishing equipment. That will not make sense. So you need to find nano-influencers who are, in terms with your brand messaging as well. So if your brand is eco-friendly, and that you are against animal cruelty, you have to find an influencer that also believes the same thing. So if he or she is promoting another product which is like filled with parabens and is not eco-friendly, and then they're promoting your product, that's kind of sketchy. So a lot of research goes into finding your nano influencer, and I'm glad that Paul's agency has made it so easy for you to just get your influencer, and they are doing it the right way. All right, so for our next question, we are going to be talking about Amazon Post. Amazon Post is everyone's favorite topic right now. It's buzzing. It's free advertising for your business. If you're not on Amazon Post, get on it right now. It's so efficient. So we had a session with Norman Farrar, aka the Beard Guy, and he did a very informative 2-part session only for you guys. It's a masterclass on Amazon Post. It'll be linked in the description, so do check that out. So how can nano-influencers specifically help your Amazon Post, and how can they help in your organic ranking on your Amazon page?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite topics too. And Norman and I go way back. And in fact, earlier this year, we partnered in the chat agency. So full disclosure, he's a business partner of mine. And I couldn't be more thrilled, because the guy is incredibly smart. He's got so much business experience. It's like I got a business mentor and a business out of it all in one fell swoop. It's amazing. So I love Posts. We've been using Amazon Post since before it was called Posts. It was called Spark Post for when they were beta testing it, and that was probably about 2.5 years ago. And we had seen that Amazon was starting to create this more community-driven approach, where basically they were trying to be like a shoppable Instagram. And with Amazon Posts, what we had done was, again, part of our system is we ask our brand reps to post about us in any channel they can. And so we were giving them points because we have like this gamification system that we do. We were giving them points when they posted about on Spark. And I noticed that they shut down Spark, but then quickly they opened up Post about a couple months later. And Post is amazing. It's way better than Spark. Spark was like its own destination. You had to go find it on the app, and it was kind of weird. And not many people were using it. What Post is, again, watch Norm's talk, because if it's, two-part talk, it's very in-depth, but it lives on your competitors' listings. So on mobile specifically, you can scroll down, and what it'll do is there'll be other products related to this, in a nutshell. So, if I'm looking for, again, like diaper bags or something, related products would be like diapers and baby wipes and that sort of stuff. So if you sell baby products that are akin to diaper bags, you can upload your products. It's just post.amazon.com. You can upload photos of your products and tag your products in the photos. Now, it's a cool thought, right? But most people in the Amazon space have not invested in branding. They haven't invested in lifestyle photography. They haven't invested, or let's say if they have invested in lifestyle photography, maybe they'll have 20, 30, 40, 50 photos, maybe. And that's like that possibly high. And you're going to run out of photos. What we do is we post 3 times a day because we have 6,000 photos that are over the past 3 years, over, I don't know, maybe it's 7,000. I don't even know. We have a ton. And so it's really easy for us to post on Amazon Post because we have this plethora of content, all given to us by our influencers. And the key thing here is if and when you're working with influencers, you need to make sure that you know who owns the rights to the photo. Okay, so that's a tidbit that we take care of in our agency. We have a contract that the influencers sign that release rights to our clients for their creative works. So that's one thing that you need to pay attention to, because if you're just taking photos off of a platform without asking people, you could get in legal trouble. So don't do that. But let's say you've done it the right way and you have rights to the photos, you can schedule posts out. You can, schedule a whole bunch of posts and then tag your photos like we do. And so we just schedule 3 posts a day, and all of the traffic goes to, let's say somebody clicks on it, they'll see the image, and there's a button that says about this product, and then you can link to the product. So literally you're taking traffic from your competitor's page right on their listing to your listing, which I'm amazed. Like, it's amazing. It's free. It is free advertising. And it's the type of advertising that people like to see that is very akin to like social shopping. So I love it. It's phenomenal. And this, using influencers, working with influencers, partnering with them. I don't want to say using, because you don't want to use people, but partnering with people that give you photos is the best way to do this.
Yep, very rightly said. And I'm also very fascinated when, I'm on Instagram and I'm looking at products. And if those products can directly be linked to your Amazon page, I mean, what else do you want? People will immediately buy a product because it does not give them the time frame to rethink about purchasing. So imagine if the link was not there. I'm on the product and then I look at it and I'm like, okay, I need to buy it. And I know that it's on Amazon. I go on Amazon, I type in your product, and then I see more products. And then I'm like, there are more price points. Maybe I can do better. So I think this is very smart, giving them less time frame to rethink about your purchasing decision will make sure that your product is bought instantly when they look at it. So that's very smart. Yep.
I mean,
all right. So
sorry.
No, please continue.
One thing that I didn't even think about, like the power of social reach and influencer marketing, is that it allows you to demand more for your products than other companies that have no social reach and no social proof. For example, our price point is over twice what most of our competition is, and the reason we can do that is because of our army of influencers that have helped us get coverage in magazines, that have helped us get into the best of lists, because we have proof that our products are better. And so when your products are better and you have proof that they're better, you can demand more. And so at that point, it's not necessarily about a race to who's the cheapest. It's about, we don't want people that are looking for the cheapest product. We want people that are looking for the best product, because the people that are looking for the best product generally have a lower return rate as opposed to when you're value shopping. And so that's that's what we care about. So I apologize for interrupting you and interjecting, but
Oh no,
another benefit
that was a very important point as well, because I think we are coming to a point where our customers are more conscious of what they're purchasing. So I have come across a lot of products who have recently surfaced the internet, which are either veteran owned, or the part of the money that you buy are like, given to the veterans, and they've become more aware of the environment. So I'm sure that people are okay spending, I mean, this is just a generalization. So people are okay spending a little bit more on the product if they know that the part of the product that they're purchasing goes for a good use, either for the veterans, either for an organization. So if you're branding a product in this way with a personal story attached to it, make sure that the influencers use it, because this will get you clicks and this will get you more purchases, even if your price point is more. I have seen that in the past with the A+ content as well. So make sure if you have a story, it's portrayed in the A+ content, in Amazon posts, your influencers are using it. So yeah, make sure that your branding is done right. So Paul here has 10 years of experience on selling on Amazon and marketing. So I think, Paul, if you have any advice for Amazon sellers, you can add them right now.
My biggest point of advice in general in business, whether it's selling on Amazon or not, is that it's going to be more difficult than you expect. And so expect it to be hard. If you expect it to be easy, and if you expect it that you're going to be making money overnight, you're not going to. It's just simply not realistic. A lot of the times we'll see these ads for courses that paint the picture that you're going to be working on the beach with your computer and making millions of dollars while you're going to sleep, which first and foremost, I've tried working. Have you ever tried working on the beach with your computer? It's really impractical. Like, I don't know why anybody would do it.
The smell, the people, the sand. No,
the sand in your computer, it's a terrible, like, I tried it and, like, we were on a cruise and I had to get some stuff done, or it was a vacation, I can't even remember, but I was on the beach and I was like, oh, I can sit at the bar by the beach. And so then, and it's just it's a terrible idea because it's super bright, you can't see the screen, and then I'm constantly worried that some drunk person's going to spill something on my, let alone the sand. So it's just not realistic. I mean, first and foremost, yeah, if you're on a vacation, just go on vacation and don't take your computer. But anyway, it's not easy. My point is that it's not easy. The people that are taking those photos are only taking them to make you think that you can do that too. But it's not easy and it's not practical. So it is hard, and you need to find people that have been there and done that, and, join groups. There's, tons of groups that you can join that are going to help you along the way, that you can ask questions on Facebook. Sometimes there's paid masterminds. Sometimes they're free. But me personally, I think, let's see, I could say that I've spent over $100,000 in some type of education, whether it's going to events or joining masterminds or paying for things. I mean, last year alone, I think it was about $20,000 in events that I went to. And my point is not that you have to spend money, but that you really need to take it seriously and invest in yourself.
No, that's very well put again. Yes, it's not easy selling on Amazon. I mean, it's like a game of casino, right? You might not or might make it. You never know. However, we at SellerApp are making it easy for you. So let us handle your account. Let us take over your Amazon journey for you while you have the full control over your journey. So do check out our free tools. Yes, they're free. So you can check out our free trial, check out our tools, and you'll see how SellerApp helps you scale your Amazon business drastically, and let SellerApp be your #1 growth partner. The free tools are in the description. Check it out. We also have this free content for you. I hope that you all learn a little more each day while watching our videos. And if you don't, leave a comment down below and let us know how we can improve and topics that we can include in our videos. So yes, Paul, thank you so much for such an informative session. If you have anything more to add, you can add that now.
Yeah, and finally, I said, in the intro that I have some free gifts for you. So if you're waiting around and you're at the end, you're like, where is the free stuff? Those templates. So I have a couple different templates that you can download, and these are what we use on the inbound funnel side. So if you use ManyChat, this is a ManyChat Pro template. So you do need a Pro account. That's only starts at $10 a month. You can go to CMU, and that's short for Chat Marketing University, cmu.life/nano. And if you need to email me, you can email me, paulb@thechatagency.com.
All right, I will make sure that the links are in the description below, so do check it out and do contact them for any of your nano-influencer need, or if you need help with chat, ManyChat. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure that you like that like button and do subscribe to our channel to join our SellerApp family. We're close to 5,000 subscribers. So do hit that like button and help us reach those 5K, guys. So thank you, and I will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.